It's a family thing, you know, you do what your dad does. It's always been motorbikes and cars. You know, we used to race motorbikes on the weekend and drive around in cars the rest of the time. G'day, my name's Steve McKenzie. Today I'm talking about my 2018 AMG GTS. Which is right here. Love this car. Bought it as a demo in October of 2018. Was considering at the time, my brother had just had a 991 Porsche, and I didn't want to look like everybody else at the traffic lights driving a Porsche. So I had a look at a few other things, and the reviews and everything that I read on this car, I found it to be, as far as, I think it's a little bit underrated at that stage. They're starting to be rated now. And I actually wanted it a bit different. And so I sort of started looking for these, and this one came up at the right price. I was looking at the new car price, and literally overnight they turned it into a demo at the dealership, and I saved $93,000. So I went in there and I said, I'll take that sucker. And it actually, at the stage they turned it into a demo, it didn't have enough kilometres on it. You have to have 2,000 kilometres on it for legal reasons. So I had to drive it a bit more. And then I picked it up the week later after the boss of the dealer principal had driven it around a bit more. So that's how I got it. When the day that I picked it up, true story, I was driving to my brother's place because he's got his 991 and he's a bit of a Porsche guy, and I was talking about this car previously, and so I was driving there, and I pulled up a set of lights down at Neutral Bay, and pulled up right beside me was a 458 Ferrari, and which is kind of rare to see those on the road anyway. And I pulled up beside it, the first time I've ever driven this car, or first time I'd ever driven it while I owned it. And the guy lowered his window in the 458 and just did that to me and my car. And I thought, yeah, I'll take that. He wouldn't have done that to a Porsche 991 driver. And I've got a great respect for the 458. So that was sort of the day that I picked the car up. Was fantastic. Since then, I love this car. I don't think I'll sell it. Can't believe that they're not as popular, that they're not more popular. It's quite strange. You don't see many of these on the road, especially compared to Porsches. So I would highly recommend this car to anybody who wants one. I noticed actually that the performance car of the year current, it's either 2020 or 2021, is actually the new GTR Pro AMG, and the road test that they did on that and it was against a 911 turbo, and it came out ahead on everything. So I can't believe why more people aren't buying these things. But the less there are on the road, the price goes up, which I don't mind. So I guess what got me, well, it was my father, and he actually was a motorcycle dealer, so he had a motorcycle dealerships in and out. He also did some work in various industries and things like that, but he's primarily a motorcycle dealer, and so I did my apprenticeship. I'm actually originally a motorcycle mechanic, that I did my apprenticeship with my dad, but we've always had cars around. Interesting cars. He was mostly into his English classics. So we had Triumph TR4, a Sprite, we had Mark II Jag, Mark 7 Jag, a Lotus Europa. So there's always something, you know, interesting floating around, and he was always dicking around with the cars on the weekends, and me and my brother used to help him. I love going for drives. We've always liked to drive cars that people look at, you know. And if you're in a Lotus Europa as a young fella, which is a fantastic little car, it had the Renault engine in that one, you get looked at, you know. And also when you're in a little TR4 or a Sprite, yeah, you know, it's just different, you know. And so I've always had different cars, I suppose. Although I had my bike license for many years before I even got a car, when I was a kid, but my first car was a 1974 Mazda RX-4, which was a cracking car. I wish I still had it. And then after that I had a couple of other things. I had a XJS Jag with a 350 Chev in it. It was lowered and it had all the flares on it and the Hot Wheel mags, and great car. Sold that to a friend. I've still got a Porsche Boxster that I bought in 15 years ago. That is one of the 986, which is a great little car. Another one of those ones that I'll never sell. And I've also got the Bentley now as well, so which is just completely different. But yeah, no, it's a family thing. You know, you do what your dad does. It's always been motorbikes and cars. You know, we used to race motorbikes on the weekend and drive around in cars the rest of the time.